All right, let's just jump right in. Think about all the things you believe to be true. Of all of them, there's really only one thing you can be 100% certain of. You are conscious. Right now, you know with absolute certainty that you are real. But what about everyone else?
Seriously, just look at whatever is in front of you. Your screen, a coffee cup, whatever. You're not just seeing it. You're aware that you're seeing it. You have this whole internal experience of it. But what about the person sitting next to you? Or me, for that matter? How can you be so sure that there's anyone home in there at all? Here's a way to think about it. There's a private, silent movie playing inside your head right this second. It's a nonstop stream of thoughts, feelings, and sensations. It is the most intimate, exclusive film ever made. And you are the only person who will ever have a ticket to see it. This is the jumping off point for one of philosophy's most deeply unsettling ideas, solipsism.
To really get our heads around this, we have to follow the logic wherever it takes us, even if it starts to feel a little uncomfortable. So let's explore 3 major cracks this idea opens up in the very foundation of what we call shared reality. Okay, so the first crack, it all comes down to one simple, untranslatable thing, your private experience. Philosophers have a fancy word for this. They call it qualia. But look at the slide. It's the color problem. We can both look at a flower and we agree, yep, that's blue. But what if your internal private experience of what you call blue is what I experience as red? We would never ever know. We can compare our words, sure, but we can never compare the actual movies playing inside our heads. And this is a big one. It means all our most important words, love, pain, joy, are basically just shared labels for completely private events. The side calls them dry husks, which is just perfect. I mean, think about trying to explain a dream to someone. You use words, but the feeling of it, the atmosphere, that raw experience, it's completely lost in translation, right? The words are just a pale shadow of the real thing. Now for the second crack, the dream argument. Just think about the last dream you can remember. The people in it, they felt real, didn't they? They had their own thoughts, their own secrets. But when you woke up, you had to accept this stunning truth. Your mind made all of them up. They were all just projections, little pieces of your own consciousness dressed up to play a part in a story for you. And that leads to a truly terrifying question. There is no watermark on your vision that says, waking life, or this is real. So if your mind is powerful enough to conjure up an entire cast of seemingly conscious characters every single night, why on earth are you so sure it isn't doing that right now? And now for the third and maybe the most mind-bending crack of all, the cosmic rainbow. You see, a rainbow isn't really a thing out there in the world. It's a very specific interaction between sunlight, raindrops, and your eyes. If there's no observer, there's no rainbow. It's that simple. Now, let's zoom out big time. Some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest that maybe reality itself works this way, that the universe doesn't quite decide what to be until an observer shows up. The truly unsettling question then becomes, are you the observer for everything? Is the entire universe just one big cosmic rainbow that exists only for you? So, if we follow these cracks all the way down, we end up in a logical dead end. It's an intellectual trap, and there's no obvious way out. You see, this is what makes solipsism such a perfect, infuriating trap. You can't prove it wrong. It's unfalsifiable. Because any proof you could possibly find for other minds, a deep conversation, reading a book, even watching this, it's all happening inside your own consciousness. You can't step outside your own head to double check. It's like trying to see your own eyeballs without a mirror. It's impossible. And it leads to some pretty funny situations. Like the story of the woman who wrote to the philosopher Bertrand Russell, told him she was a solipsist, and then wondered why everyone else wasn't one. And that's it. We've hit the bottom of the rabbit hole. We're in this room of mirrors. And we're stripped of all our certainties, left with just one quiet, deeply unnerving truth. Every star in the sky, every atom in the world, and every single person you have ever loved is a beautiful, persistent, and totally unprovable assumption. Intellectually, we are trapped. We're standing in a room with no doors and no windows. So what now? Well, what if we've been trying to solve the wrong problem? We change the question, and that's how we find a way out. Not by breaking down the walls, but by seeing the room in a completely new light. For this whole time, we've been asking the wrong question. We've been banging our heads against the wall asking, how do I know other people are conscious? The better, more useful, more human question is, what does it mean that I choose to believe they are? The whole game shifts from proof to choice. Because here's the twist. The fact that we can't prove other minds exist is not some horrible curse on reality. It's a gift. Think about it. If connection were a proven fact, like gravity, it would just be data. It would be an obligation. But because it's unprovable, it becomes something infinitely more precious. This is the moment we stop looking for proof and we start building bridges. Bridges built not on certainty, but on a leap of faith. Because you can never truly know what it's like inside someone else's head. Every single time you really listen to them, every time you try to feel their pain or share their joy, you are performing a small miracle. Empathy stops being just an emotion. It becomes a radical leap of faith across an infinite, silent gap. You're saying, I can't prove you're really in there, but I'm going to act as if you are anyway. This uncertainty makes every conversation an act of trust. Every moment of love is a bridge we choose to build over a void. And this isn't some flaw in the system. It is the very thing that makes being human feel profound and meaningful and actually worth doing. That choice to believe, repeated billions of times a day by people who have zero proof of one another, that is what creates our world. So let's bring this massive philosophical idea right back down to earth, to where it matters most, your own life. So try this. The next time you look at someone you love, really look at them and try to see the paradox. Recognize that they are fundamentally, beautifully mysterious. You are looking at an entire universe of experience, a private, silent movie that you will never get a ticket to. They are a soul you can never, ever verify. And then choose to believe in them anyway, because right there, in that unprovable space, you'll find the honest, breathtaking truth of the human condition. It's this quiet declaration that says, I will never know what it's like to be you, and I choose to believe you are there anyway. And that choice, that leap of faith, that might just be the most beautiful thing we ever do.